Stop the Melt campaign continues. We're going to briefly talk about that. I want to focus more on this Florida bill, my friends. There's a lot of mixed language in this bill. I'm going to try to do my best today. I've talked to several people about this. I've had customers talk to me about this. Customers have brought some of this up to my attention. You have all brought this up to my attention. Going to try to get this right. Look, this is still an ongoing process. We're still trying to figure out what's in this bill, how it reads, and it's just a bogus bill. I'm just going to put it out there, okay? We got some news on the penny as well. We got a lot to cover, so please like the video, share the video out, put in the comments, stop the Melt campaign. Let's get this information out. Let's just get into it. We got to stop the melt at first. We got to start melting down our history. It's shameful. But we get people's thoughts that, the more we melt down, the more value it's going to be. That's not necessarily true. Because if you just think about the melt value, just the melt value alone, that's all it's going to be. It's not going to raise the price of the physical silver. It might raise the premiums on the backside, but then you're going to have to wait for silver to go get up to that premium threshold. That's where you're going to come in at. All right, the premiums are going to go up then. Less availability, like it did back in March of 2023, when it was very hard to source. Premiums on junk silver went up. The price of silver didn't go up. The premiums on junk silver went up. 90% silver or Constitution silver, however you want to phrase it. It all means the same thing. If junk silver offends you, I apologize, but it's just a term that the coin industry uses. That's all. Not trying to offend anybody. That is what it is. I prefer to call it 90% silver because it's exactly what it is. So it's not going to drive up the price of your physical 90% silver unless there's a key date. All right, it's not going to change the melt value of the silver content. We got to stop the melt anyways. It really don't matter. We got to stop the melt. We got to preserve our history. Let's go on to this Florida bill. In the Florida bill, as you read through it, it does include 90% silver. Let me touch on this for a minute before we get comments. It does include all U.S. coins. And it also includes some silver bars. Okay, that's the gist of it. Let's assume for a moment that Walmart in Florida starts accepting silver and gold as payment when the law takes effect on July 1st of 2026. Follow me so far? The law's not even in law yet. Alright, it don't take effect. This version does not take effect until July 1st of 2026. We still got over a year. Alright? So let's just assume there's no other amendments to this bill, and it goes through as planned. Walmart comes in and says, okay, we will be taking silver and gold as payment. But here's the caveat of that. It will be only recognized as melt value. Now, in the bill it says legal tender for 90% silver, your pre-33 gold. Your 1 ounce silver eagles has $1 face on it. Okay? Your gold buffaloes have $50 face. Your gold eagles have a $50 face for the 1 ounce, and so on. It's lesser than on the other smaller pieces of gold. Regardless what that point is, they're going to pay melt, meaning spot. Some of these coins at a coin shop, you're going to get more than the spot price because it's got the numismatic value of them. So you bring into Walmart underneath this Florida bill, you bring in a pre-33 gold piece, you're going to get spot. Customer brought this up to me, and I'm listening. I was up late last night. I was dealing with customers until about 12:30 last night, or this morning, I should say. And I'm looking at the Red Book, based on a St. Gardens, the way they listed their prices in the 2026 version is based on $2,750 gold. Okay, we know gold is more than that right now. When they written the book, they were trying to plan ahead enough to see where their predictions were for gold. Of course, the book's wrong now. Okay, even though it's the new version, again, the Red Book is just a guide. The Red Book is not written in stone. This is exactly what you're going to get. We're living in different times. My concern is I've said this before on this channel. If you have silver, gold, even platinum, and you don't want to let your family member know that they're going to get it when you pass on, this is why we need to keep spreadsheets. This is why we need to keep a list of the current values. So your relatives, don't go take it into like a Walmart. And I'm not blaming Walmart at all here. Okay? This is not a jab against Walmart. This is the jab against the law. Alright, I want to make that perfectly clear. You take it into Walmart, they're going to give you spot for the transaction. Why would anybody want to do that? You wouldn't want to take a Gold Eagle now and use it in a transaction now for $50. But if you did that, that's the only store across America, you know, if they accept cash, they would give you $50. Now, there may be some questions about it. You know, the store may not take it. You know, it's legal tender. Okay. Legal tender. Let's talk about legal tender too. A business in the United States. I want to make this, and you can Google this, because I'm still getting comments about this. A business in the United States, it's not required. There's no federal law for a business to require to accept cash. Meaning, right now, a business does not have to accept cash. Even though it states very clearly on the note, this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. Okay. You read the law, it is no federal law. Now, in states like Massachusetts, Rhode Island, I believe it's parts of New York, I believe it's parts of California. I Googled this morning to double check, to triple check. There are laws in place in some of these areas in the country where they have localized a mandate for a business to take cash. Okay, localized. But there is no federal law in place where a business has to accept cash. There's the story on that. So I want to make that crystal clear. Now comes back to the Florida law, where 90% silver comes into play. If you read the top of the bill, it's $9.99 for silver. Well, we know this is 90% silver. It's legal tender. According to the bill, and which is right, it's legal tender. And it is, okay? It's perfectly legal tender. So you could go into a Walmart now and spend these for a dime. You wouldn't want to do that, of course. But, you know, Walmart takes American coinage, so you could actually go in Walmart and spend that for a dime. Why would anybody want to do that? I don't know. The question become, okay, if it's still considered as legal tender, why is it allowed to be melting it down? If you follow me with this, I mean, why is it legal to melt down 90% silver. Look, you can't melt down pennies right now. That's against the law. That's legal tender. You can't melt down nickels right now. Common date nickels. That's against the law. So if they're defining this as legal tender, which it is, always has been, I understand in 1965, they made a law where it made it legal to melt this stuff down. Now they've got a lot melted down in 65. A lot of this started melting down in 1980 when silver went to the roof for the first time. And it's legal to melt it down today. So if the penny's not legal at this time to melt it down, why should we be melting this down? The bill is very misconstrued. The language in it is a lot of confusion out there. Getting spot for a lot of this stuff, it's not going to be worth it. You can do a lot better at your local coin shops. You can do a lot better at channel sponsor pinbacks.com than taking it to a business that is willing to accept it as payment. And now with the Florida law, no business has to accept silver and gold as payment. There's another caveat there. They're not required to accept it. All right? So why do we even need the law then? If a business wants to accept silver and gold as payment, there really does not need to be any law in the first place. Now, if I want to bother with this today, I go to the ice cream place, and let's just say they took silver as payment for the ice cream cone, and we both agree on, okay, I want 2 silver dimes for that ice cream cone, because I'm going to get a big ice cream cone, right? So I give that vendor 2 silver dimes. We're both happy. He got his 2 dimes. I get my big ice cream. We're both happy. It's a done deal. Just using that as an example, all right? It's just using that as an example. So we got to be, I want to wake people up and realize that if a business in Florida or any of these other states, now other states would have different languages in the bill. But in Florida here, be careful. Be actual careful with any legal tender laws passed. Because if you're going to get just spot, and we know pre-33 gold is more than worth spot. We know your Silver Eagles are worth more than spot, depending on a BU condition. You wouldn't want to bring a BU coin into, let's say, Walmart accepted silver again and gold, and get spot for it, where the coin shop's actually going to pay you more. Now, a toned up, milked up one, yeah, most coin shops are going to pay back of spot. So in that scenario, it'd be worth it to spend it at Walmart once again. I'm trying to make this as clear as possible. And the bill is not clear. I want to talk about the Goldbacks real quick. Then I want to talk about the Pinbacks giveaway coming up as well. And we got to end with the pennies with this. Goldbacks, like them or don't like them. Not really the point of the Goldbacks right now. The Goldbacks has done it right. Okay? Yes, they have a high premium. We covered that. Several videos that I've done. They have a high premium. There's reasons for it. Not to try to get more money out of you. It's a baseline. They have a high premium on them. You get the premiums back when you go to use them. As of yesterday, one Goldback was roughly about $6.65. Yes, it was a penny higher, but I was not going to put that number on a piece of paper. So, you buy this, I got these for a lot less than $6.65. All right? They're worth more, and gold's gone up. You go to a retail store that's willing to accept them. You go to Goldbacks webpage. Current fair trade value is $6.65. The vendor will probably most likely use the $6.65 threshold. So you get all your premiums back. These go up with the price of silver and gold. Gold goes down. This number goes down per Goldback for one Goldback. Price of gold goes up. That price goes up. So all the Goldbacks you bought for a lot less, you've actually gained. You get your premiums back. You didn't lose anything. You're more beholden to the price of gold when it comes to the Goldbacks than anything. So you haven't lost your premiums on your Goldbacks. Okay, you just haven't. Goldbacks actually has a good system in place. They have the right idea. So maybe we see states spinning off what the Goldbacks is doing and recognizing that it holds its premiums and do it with these state laws that are that have passed or about to pass silver, gold, and legal tender, and do it the right way. Like the Goldbacks or not. I understand Goldbacks is not meant to be stacked. Goldbacks is basically, you get them, you get in a pinch, you use them at an acceptable retailer, which they're very hard and few in between. I get that. But the point being is you don't lose your premium. The premium is set. Now, if Goldback says, well, our cost is going up, then all your Goldbacks are going to go up. So if they have a cost increase on something, on their end, how to make them, the workers want more money, the manufacturer wants more money, blah, blah, whatever the case may be, all your Goldbacks will go up in value as well. You don't lose the premium. Rather, if you buy a gold, silver eagle 1 ounce coin, at that time you bought it, it was a sky high premium like we've seen before. Gold drops. The interest goes away for a while with the gold, with the gold coin. Premiums drop. You don't get your premiums back. You have to sit and hold it for a while. All right? You go buy a gold eagle today or a silver eagle today. Let's stay on the American page here. Yeah, you're paying a premium on it. You try to go sell that tomorrow, you're not going to get that premium back right away. Even if gold stays the same, even if silver stays about the same price, where you might lose a penny or two with the Goldback if you used it the next day, but you're not losing the premium on it. You're only losing the gold value itself. That's it. I hope I made that clear, because Goldback's actually doing it the right way. Let's talk about pinbacks. Folks, I love this company. I've talked to Michael twice this week. We're doing another giveaway. I'm giving away $3.35 and 90% silver rate in the bag. There are 2 Franklin halves. There are 2 walking halves. There are 2 1964 halves. There's a Bobber dime from 1910. There's a Standing Liberty quarter from 1927. You can read the dates on all these coins. I'll show them again in a future video. Pinbacks has also confirmed with me. They're also going to be sending a full roll of Washington silver quarters for the giveaway. That's another $10 in face value right there. So with their 10 and my $3.35, it's going to be $13.35 to one in face value to one lucky winner. That's huge. That's a lot of value right there to one lucky winner. Look, they come through. I told you, the more you folks call Pinbacks up, order from Pinbacks, they got great prices. You call them up, let them know that Coin Shop Chris sent you, the bigger giveaways will happen. That's all I don't make a commission off your sale. They pay me a monthly fee every single month that we agree on. And that is how it's done. Alright, that is the honest to God truth, is how it's done. I want to show you. So thank you, channel sponsor Pinbacks, for sponsoring Coin Shop Chris. The giveaway will happen on July 4th. I will be making a video about 10 days before the giveaway. So 10 days before July 4th, I will release a video. You just have to watch the video, enter on that video when I release it, not this video. There'll be some rules on it, what to type in the comment section on that specific video 10 days before July 4th. And on July 4th, I'll pick a winner at random and ship it off to you free of charge. You must be subscribed. I'll give you that little nuance right off the bat. You must live in the United States too. There'll be a couple other rules in the video. There might be a little change of wording I might be using to enter for the giveaway. But regardless, it's going to be free for you to enter. It's going to be free for you to get it shipped to your home if you live in the United States. You folks know I like to shop on eBay. Messed around with eBay again last night. In between customer phone calls and talking to other people about this Florida bill. I was tired. It's been a crazy couple days with this bill. But I still got a little bit of time to go on eBay once in a while. I happened to find 4 1964 Kenley half dollars. The person wanted $45 and plus the $4.14 to ship them. My first offer was $35 plus the $4.14. Person comes back at $41 and the shipping $4.14. So I got 4 of them for $45.14. 4 of them. That comes out to be $11.28 each. The current melt value when I got them was $12.04 each. You can still find the deals out there. Yeah, I put on a low ball offer. I keep trying to make a little bit meat on the bone on the back end to see if they come back with an offer. Does it always pan out? Absolutely not. But there are deals out there where you can get this 90% silver less than melt value, which I just did. I just got 2 the other day. You folks seen it. Here it is right here. If someone did not see it. I got 2 the other day on May 26. These are silver quarters, actually. 1962, 1963. For $10. They were melting at the time for about $6.07 each. Got them for $5 each. Yeah, it may not be a lot. Okay, it may not be a lot. But it's a little bit here, a little bit here. And it saves it from the melt pot. It saves it from going to the smelter because I'm not going to smelt them down. Want to touch one last thing on the pennies. We all know by now the penny is not going to be produced that much longer. I think the last run of them is going to be in early 2026. It says, this article says, the penny will continue to be accepted at any retailer that takes cash. There you go right there. For the ones that don't believe that a retailer has to take cash, that takes cash. It's in this article. However, experts encourage Americans to examine their coins more closely before spending them, as some of them are worth more than 1 cent. So yeah, like the copper ones, like the 1955 wheat penny double die. I mean, I can give you other examples, like the 1943 copper one, which is very, very rare, but there are some out there. And BU shape, yeah, certain years can bring a pretty penny, folks. You know, there you go again. So there you go again. A business does not have to accept cash. So what's probably going to happen with the penny is going to be just like the junk silver, the 90% silver. Eventually, probably by 2027, I would say, 2028 time frame. And this is, I don't have no proof for this at all. This is just me thinking out loud. You'll be allowed to melt down the penny. And business is not going to want to take a bunch of pennies, because we're going to round up to the nearest nickel. Corporate America is not going to go under, round down if something's at 97 cents or 92 cents. They're not going to round down to 90 cents. Okay, we've talked about that before. I just don't see that happening whatsoever. All right, I just don't see that happening whatsoever with that scenario playing out. You got the time now. If you're a copper stacker, if you are a hoarder of pennies, you're looking for rare dates, this is your chance now. Because what's going to happen, the store's going to stop refusing to take them eventually. And it might take a year or two for them to stop. It might even take them a little bit less time than that. Because they're not going to have to give change back in pennies. They're going to be collecting pennies from the public. And there'll be no need to give change back in pennies, because when everything's rounded up to the nearest nickel, how can they use a nickel? They're not going to give you 5 pennies back unless you specifically ask for them. Right? Think about it. And then they're going to have to spend time to bag them up, send them to the bank. And what is the bank going to do with them? Send them back to the mint. Send them back to the Fed. And they'll be gone forever. Just like the old style 50s, 20s, $100 bills, you don't see them in circulation no more. If you have them, yes, you can use them. But once they find their way back to the banks are returning them back to the Fed. That is what's going on. Yes, you can still use them. But how often you see them now? And I'm talking like the old style hundreds. And the hundreds have been changed a couple times. The 5s have been changed a couple times. The 20s have been changed a couple times. The 10s have been changed a couple times since the 80s and 70s. These older notes, you just don't see anymore from the 1990s when they had the small face Jackson like the $1 bill does now. The only paper money that's not changed is the $1 bill. So how many of the old 5s, 10s, 50s, and 100s you really see out there? Not many. Think about it. The banks have turned them back in. That is what's happening. You're still allowed to use them. So when the banks get the pennies back, they're going to send them back to either to the mint or to the Fed for probably the milk pot. Get your copper now, because it's going to be more valuable later in copper value than just the 1 penny value now. Get the pennies now if you want them. You can sell them on eBay later. The people have always been selling them for the past few years, and it's probably over 10 years people have been selling copper pennies by the pounds on eBay. The work's already done for them. Yeah, they can make a little bit of profit off that. The work has already been done, if you want to get them that way. But why not give them for face? You have a rainy afternoon. Go through some with the kids. Get the kids involved. Teach them history. And let's stop the melt of 90% silver. Help me out, folks, with the like. Share the video out. Don't forget about the Pinbacks giveaway. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. We will see you later this afternoon.